Welcome back into the Fox Local Live Desk. I'm Matthew Smith. For the past couple of days, we've been really focused on fallout from the government shutdown. We talked a little bit over the past 24 hours about the concerns surrounding SNAP benefits. We've got some numbers on your screen here. More than 41 million Americans received benefits last year. That includes over 900,000 people in Washington state. Now, there are a lot of local groups that do amazing work trying to bridge the gap and make sure that people know where that next meal comes from. It is just one of the many things that HopeLink does here in our area. So right now, welcoming in Megan Altimore, the HopeLink CEO. Megan, thanks so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for inviting me, Matthew.
So I just kind of want to first up, just kind of talk a little bit about what you all do and kind of what you anticipate in terms of food and trying to meet that need moving forward. What is it going to look like?
Thank you for asking that. So HopeLink is a community action agency, and our whole intent is to improve the lives of people experiencing poverty. And so we serve North and East King County with our food program, but all of King and Snohomish County with some of the other things that we do. And we are focused on helping people stabilize from the hard negative impacts of poverty, and then hopefully to become equipped to exit poverty with new skills and tools.
And how are you, I guess, what are you hearing from folks who are going to be dealing with this? Because it sounds like there's going to be maybe folks that don't typically need these services all of a sudden that are going to be needing more help. Are you feeling that on the ground level right now?
We definitely are. With food costs as high as they are and as high as they have been recently, what we have found that even though incomes have risen, the buying power has continued to go down. And so you already had a really stressed situation. We ended our last fiscal year at over 20,000 people enrolled in our food program, and that's without this interruption to the SNAP benefits. We know that last time there was an extended shutdown, which was in 2018, we did start to see many government workers coming for our services in food and financial assistance, some of the other components that we offer. And so we are getting more and more prepared to be able to support our community, not just the population who we would normally see, but a population who was plunged into really difficult financial times.
And I think that's one of the more interesting things, because obviously you all are connecting people with necessities on a regular basis. I wonder what the stress is like for you all. You just mentioned how many folks have already been turning to groups like yours. Are you all prepared, or is our community as a whole prepared for what we're seeing here?
Yeah, that's a great question. And so, yes, we are prepared, but we're also continuing to prepare more, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So we have communicated with our donor community and our client community. We will start on Monday giving more food. The way our markets are set up, they are markets. We don't call them food banks. That's what they used to be called. But people come in, they check in, they get a grocery cart, and they shop for free groceries. And so it's unlikely that we'll be able to give a lot more away of the fresh items that we have, but the shelf staple items, we will be able to make sure that people have plenty of food to get them through the next few weeks. And hopefully this isn't a protracted interruption that people are experiencing.
Well, let's just say, for instance, that I'm one of those lucky ones that has the ability. What is the call to action right now for those who might be able to step in and do something extra for their neighbors?
That's a great question. So there's a lot of ways to approach it. And there are a lot of agencies similar to HopeLink that are around the county. So I encourage people to reach out to the group that is most important to them. But the first and foremost, the easiest and fastest is to give a monetary contribution if you can. Second, after that, is donate food. If you're at the grocery store or at Costco or Sam's Club, pick up some extra food and go drop it off so that it can then go right back out the door to support a local family. You can also put together a food drive. You can get with your neighbors, your Boy Scout troop, your faith community, put together a food drive, and then you can volunteer. There are lots and lots of ways, lots of places where you can volunteer to do that. So we really do encourage people to get involved in a way that is meaningful for them.
And one of the last questions I have is just out of curiosity, how often do you see an event like this? SNAP really does bridge the gap for a lot of folks on a regular basis. You working in this space, is this something we've seen before?
No, this is not something that we've seen before. The last thing that had this big of an interruption for us was certainly the pandemic, in that people lost their jobs immediately, and so we and other agencies like HopeLink needed to fill that gap, and we needed to do it not in the normal way that we would do it, right? And so we have not experienced an immediate loss of SNAP benefits like this. And as you mentioned, it's nearly 900,000 people in the state of Washington, and nearly 200,000 of them are here in King County. We're fortunate in this area that we have a really generous community, but it's already so difficult to meet your basic needs. I'll just throw out one more quick piece of information for your audience here, and that's that we just got our data back that 134,000 people in East and North King County don't have enough income to meet their basic needs. So that's 1 in 5 households that are already without this interruption. So when people do have the ability to help, or maybe just the ability to be a little bit more patient with that person who might be in line next to you, I think this is a really stressful time, and we can all make it better for our neighbors.
Megan, that is such a great perspective, I think, for all of us to be having at this point. It is a very difficult time. Any thought you want to leave our viewers with? I know that was a high note, but I just want to make sure we get a chance to hear everything you have as somebody who is really dealing with this on the ground floor.
Absolutely. The thing that I want people to understand is that oftentimes there's discussions around who is poor and why they are poor and why poverty is happening. The vast majority of the people that we see are children, seniors, people who are disabled, or people who are working and not able to meet their basic needs because costs are so high here. And so understanding that the person who is experiencing this is just somebody that you know, just somebody that is a neighbor of yours who might be in that precarious place. And I think understanding that it is just that person next door, or that person that your kid may play with on the playground, I think that humanizes this in a way that's important for all of us to remember.
Megan, we do appreciate you taking the time for our viewers. That is the HopeLink CEO. You heard that call to action. Help is needed at this point in time. And before we let you go, we'll just show you guys the numbers at home. Once again, over 900,000 Washington residents receiving benefits, SNAP benefits that is, from last year. And just to kind of put a cap on what Megan said there, 53% of SNAP recipients in Washington are families with children. So they're seeing very much what she's seeing right here in King County across the state. Those are the numbers coming in from the USDA.